Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury.
President, I move the second reading of the Clearing and Settlement Systems Amendment Bill 2015. The main purpose of the bill is to amend the Clearing and Settlement Systems Ordinance so as to establish a regulatory regime for store value facilities SVF and retail payment systems RPS in Hong Kong. The global retail payment market has been developing rapidly. Technological advancements and increasing acceptance of new technology by the public have led to the emergence of new forms of retail payment products and services. The current regulatory regime for store value cards under the Banking Ordinance, BO, only applies to device-based multi-purpose store value products. In addition, the Clearing and Settlement Systems Ordinance, CSSO, provides a statutory framework for the Hong Kong Monetary Authority to designate and oversee large-value clearing and settlement systems. Nonetheless, the current regulatory system in the BO or CSSO does not cover a range of non-device-based payment facilities, which are normally issued outside the banking sector and store value on network-based accounts, mobile network accounts, or computer servers, as well as payment systems related to retail activities. To ensure the safety and soundness of these payment facilities and systems, insofar as they relate to financial stability, we propose bringing them into the regulatory net of the Hong Kong MA under the CSSO. I now highlight the important areas in the bill. Regulatory regime for SVF. The primary regulatory concern of SUV stems from the need to protect users' float maintained by SVF issuers to ensure the ability and competence of SVF issuers and the proper protection and management of float. We propose introducing a mandatory licensing regime for SVF so that no person may issue SVF in Hong Kong without license granted by the Hong Kong MA. The proposed licensing regime will cover both device-based and non-device-based multi-purpose SVF. Single-purpose SVF will remain not subject to regulation. In addition, to ring-fence the proposed regulatory regime to relevant payment facilities essential to financial stability, we propose that SVF which do not involve payment of money by users or have limited usage be excluded from the regulatory regime. We propose that, similar to the existing multi-purpose cards regime under the BO, the Hong Kong MA will retain the power to exempt an SVF from the regulatory regime, having regard to the materiality of the risk posed by the relevant facility to the users or potential users and the payment of financial systems in Hong Kong. The Hong Kong MA may attach conditions to the exemption. We propose that the licensing criteria will include the following. The licensee must be a body corporate under Hong Kong law and have a registered office in Hong Kong. The principal business of a licensee must be the issuance of SVF. The licensee must meet a minimum ongoing capital requirement. A licensee will be required to have in place safeguarding measures that adequately protect the float and to keep the float separate from other funds of the issuer. SVF licensees and persons responsible for management of the SVF business must be fit and proper persons. The licensees must have in place appropriate risk management policies and procedures. In line with the existing multi-purpose card regime under the BO, licensed banks will be deemed to be licensed to issue SVF as a line of business. This, together with other lines of banking business in a licensed bank, would be subject to regulatory requirements and ongoing supervision by the Hong Kong MA. Regulatory regime of RPS. Safe and efficient functioning of widely used RPS is essential to the smooth running of day-to-day economic activities in Hong Kong. Having regard to the existing regulatory regime for large value CSS under the CSSO, we propose extending the regime to cover RPS as appropriate. Hong Kong MA may designate an RPS which operates in Hong Kong or processes retail payment transactions denominated in Hong Kong dollar or other currencies or declared medium of exchange if certain destination criteria are met, such as if any disruption to the RPS are likely to result in monetary or financial stability or the functioning of Hong Kong as an international financial center, or the public's confidence in payment system or the financial system of Hong Kong, or the day-to-day commercial activities being adversely affected. And the Hong Kong MA may impose potential measures to be observed. To ensure the safety and robustness, these designated RPS must comply with relevant operating rules and risk management and control procedures, and make sure that safety and integrity of and information held within the system is maintained. To enable the Hong Kong MA to perform its supervisory functions, we propose incorporating in the CSSO provisions enabling the Hong Kong MA to conduct effective ongoing supervision over the relevant licensees and operators, gather information, give directions, impose operating rules, make regulations, issue guidelines, and conduct investigations. We propose modeling on the existing criminal sanctions under the BO and the CSSO for devising sanctions under the proposed regulatory regime. In addition, we propose empowering the Hong Kong MA to impose a range of civil sanctions which will be appropriate to the nature and severity of the misconduct. To ensure that the exercise of the Hong Kong MA's powers is subject to checks and balances, we propose expanding the ambit of the existing Clearing and Settlement Systems Appeals Tribunal to cover appeals against relevant Hong Kong MA's decisions in relation to SVF and RPS. Phase implementation arrangement. We propose implementing the provisions contained in the bill in two phases after the passage of the bill by this Council. Phase 1, which mainly concerns the provisions relating to the application and processing of SVF licenses as well as the designation regime of RPS, will come into operation upon gazettal of the Amendment Ordinance. Phase 2, which mainly concerns the provisions relating to offences in relation to the proposed licensing regime for SVF, will come into operation 1 year after the commencement of Phase 1. This is intended to cater for the time required for potential and existing SVF issuers to apply for a license, as well as for the Hong Kong MA to process the SVF license applications. Public consultation. The administration launched a 3-month public consultation on the proposed regulatory regime in May 2013. Comments received indicated overall support for the policy objective and key proposals. Most respondents generally consider that a well-regulated environment will help further develop retail payment products and services in Hong Kong and enhance users' acceptance of and confidence in such products and services. We issued a consultation conclusion to address these suggestions and comments on the 31st of October 2014. President, we briefed the Electrical Panel on Financial Affairs on the major elements of the proposed regulatory regime at its meeting on the 7th of April 2014. The panel supported the administration's plan to establish a regulatory framework for SVF and RPS in Hong Kong. I hope this bill can be passed by the Council as soon as possible so as to set up a regulatory system on SVF and RPS in Hong Kong, so that the relevant products and systems will be safer and more robust, so as to increase public confidence in them, so as to promote innovation in the sector and maintain Hong Kong as an international financial center. I so submit. I now propose the question to you, and that is that the Clearing and Settlement Systems Amendment Bill 2015 be read the second time. In accordance with the rules of procedure, the debate is now adjourned and the bill is referred to the House Committee.
We now resume the second reading debate.